Good morning from the farm. Yes, we live on a farm in Tennessee. That's probably a question you guys asked because we're doing a Q&A. Can you see me? Can you see me okay? I'll zoom in a little bit. I thought that was kind of a cool shot, the wide, but I feel like this is a little bit more intimate. Know what I'm saying? Hopefully the audio is okay. Let me make sure the audio is chilling.
Hey, no, it isn't. It's not okay. Actually, I had a lapel mic and it went the whole time.
Bing,
so
bing,
I'm
bong.
just gonna have a loud, echoey barn
Bing bong.
with nice ambiance of cars going
Bing bong.
and a heater going
Hey
on.
everybody.
Thankfully, I recorded with 2 mics, so enjoy the video.
It's your dad, Marcus.
See ya.
And I'm back. Video number 3. We should be on 7. Let's go, dude. We're on a stinking roll. So I went to a bachelor party that threw me for a loop. Florida for a while. I didn't bring my charger, so my camera died.
Excuses is really what it is.
So for the next year, I'm gonna make 2 YouTube videos a week. Anyways, hey, we're back on it, and we're doing a Q&A. Got all the questions right here from Insta. So I say we just jump into it. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get to the nitty gritty, grobbly grit, dude. Because I want the grit with the knit, if you feel what I'm saying. Probably gonna be a little bit kind of silly, kind of a little silly guy, you know what I mean? Because you can't take everything too seriously. It's gotta be a little bit silly guy every once in a while, because why are you here anyways? You're here just because you want to distract yourself. Just like I've been doing for years, you know what I'm saying? Just distracting yourself and just not committing to the work. And that's why you're watching this video ultimately, is because you have other better things to do, but you'd rather waste your day away with me. But ultimately, here's the good news, is I'm gonna inspire you to get the things that you need to get done. Probably not. Let's do this video. Here we go, everyone. How many cute kids will you and Kristen bless everyone's presence with? We're gonna shoot for 4. That's the idea. If we get to 4, that'd be great. I think we're going to cap it at 4, and I think we're going to at least have 3, but we want 4. That's the plan for now. I live my life very intense, just as you. How to find balance / rest. I feel like if I'm not intense and I'm not going 100%, I'm going 0%. So the only way for me to do things is to be like, I'm doing 2 videos a week, let's go! And if I'm not doing that, then I'm like, it's not that interesting. I'm not that excited about it. So I would say, roll with your intensity. If it worked for you, then do it. I have to get excited and passionate about what I'm doing. If I'm not, then you can't get me to do it. It just ain't happening. But if I'm passionate about something, then get out of my way, because it's happening even if you're trying to stop me. Get what I'm saying? Was it hard to see Kristen in pain during birth? She actually was so fantastic at managing the pain that it wasn't really that bad. But she did so great. She was like, we were like laughing and joking, like literally in between pushes. It was pretty incredible. So Kristen's just a beast. I think when you snap your femur in half, it's like everything else is just pales in comparison. It just doesn't really, it's like, oh, a baby, sure, whatever. I snapped my femur. Because apparently that is the worst pain that you could possibly feel. And Kristen did that, and she didn't pass out from the pain. They say like 9 out of 10 people do that. So anyway, she's just a beast. So yeah, it was easy for me. I mean, heck, I didn't have to do anything. I just said, come on, you got it, babe. Here we go. Holding for plane. Holding for plane. Holding for plane. Hey everyone, holding for plane here. Hey, it's Marcus, and I'm holding for plane. Oh, 8 planes! Thank you, air traffic controllers, for controlling them right over me. Oh, is it a helicopter? What the fudge, dude? Oh, it's a helicopter! Oh, right over my house. Okay, you want to know something interesting? Luke Bryan is our next door neighbor, and he has a helicopter that he lands all the time. There's going to be 18 helicopters, I swear. He's bringing all of his friends over, I guess. Luke Bryan is our next door neighbor, and he has a helicopter, so sometimes he goes like 10 times a day. So, wish I had a helicopter. Give me a ride, Luke. Give me a ride, Luke! I'll take a ride! Anyways. Alright. Can you bring back Facebook Marketplace, please? You want to know something crazy? I've been getting more Facebook crap than ever. I live on Facebook Marketplace, and I've just been crushing it, but I haven't been filming it because I need someone to help me film. My last filmer, editor, guy, friend of mine was Nolan, and he absolutely killed it. And I just haven't found someone. And quite honestly, I haven't been really looking for someone because, you know, it's going to be really hard to fill the Nolan shoes. But he was so great, and I just feel like personally, if I had an editor, I was just talking about this with Kristen, if I had an editor and a filmer, I could just be me and not feel like the daunting thing of like setting up the camera and all this stuff. And I don't know, I would just be able to just like churn out the content, but it feels so overwhelming to like, how am I gonna show up to a Facebook deal and be like, hey man, can I film you? And like, it's too weird. I can't film it and then like be like doing the interactions. So I just need someone ultimately to help me produce it. So I just need to find someone. Next ideal adventure trip. Ooh, I don't want to spill the beans because I want to hold the beans and cook them over a fire for a little bit. You like how I slur my words there? I want to cook my beans over a fire for a little bit and then present some really great baked beans for you. But it's always going to be some toinky, weird mode of transportation of sorts. Well, actually, here's something that I would love to do. I would love to build a solar electric bike and set the world record for fastest. I can't talk today. I would like to set the world record for fastest crossing of the United States on an unassisted solar-powered electric bike. That would be really cool. Does anyone want to sponsor me to do that? I can't bring myself to spend the money on that. So, anyways, that would be one. We need another train hopping dock. Yeah, I'm probably never going to do that again. I would do it personally, but now that I have a son and like it's a proper family unit, I can't get away with doing those things anymore. At least not train hopping. I would love to, but I'll probably never do it with the same guys, but we are going to be doing annual trips probably here on out, doing fun, interesting, weird things, which goes back to the last question of the next adventure. The next adventure coming out, the next documentary, however, the sequel to the train documentary, is we rode gas bikes across the United States. So I'm hoping that is going to be done by March. That would be my guess. So I'm currently editing that now. We're hoping for March. Let's see if I get it together. Do you miss your Vine times? Yeah, I miss the Vine times. Would I ever go back? No. It's like being like, you're a full-grown adult with a family and being like, do you miss the college days? It's like, yeah, but will I ever go back to like stinky cereal cracked in between the cracks of the couch with like 5 guys like all stinking a house? It's like, no, I would never want to live that again. But was it great at the time? Would I love to like pop back in time for like a weekend and be like, hey, oh, the old ways it used to be, like us spray painting on the walls and like, you know, funking the house up, you know, and then having to be like, oh, we need to paint the walls back because we're moving out, and then like we get our college roommate to like paint it himself, and then he doesn't use a primer, and then it bleeds through in 3 days, and then we had to pay a ton of money. You know what I'm saying? Those are the days that I want and I don't want ever again. So yeah, I miss the Vine days. I miss all the old guys. I would love to do a Vine documentary. I think a lot of people are like, dude, just move on from the past. Like when I talk about the idea of doing like a Vine documentary, because by the way, guys, I have the most insane footage. I have the most insane stories from the 1600 Vine days. And I don't want to be the guy who like milks it and like, you know, because everyone has their own life and I want to respect everyone's privacy and stuff, and it's so hard to like wrangle all these people together, but we had some wild times and I have some really wild stories. So I just don't want to be that guy who's like, dude, guess what I did with Logan Paul? Like, that's not what it is. That's not what I'm trying to do. You get what I'm saying? I just feel like it's tacky. I don't want to be like living in the past, but I have a lot of things to say because I never talked about the times when I was even in the time. So it would be an interesting thing to like go back and talk about, because there were some weird things that happened. All right. Anyways, that was the Vine times. We'll see what happens with it. If you guys are interested in those stories, maybe we'll make something out of it. Has fatherhood changed you? Okay, I guess we can get into it. Fatherhood has absolutely changed me. Fatherhood is like, when you're a dad, it's all different. You don't give a rip about yourself anymore. I used to be like, and I still want to get in shape, of course. See how I answer questions before I've even rhetorically asked them to myself? I need to get a hold of that. I don't even know what I'm saying. I literally forgot what I was going to say.
So let's get to the nitty gritty grobbly grit, dude.
Oh yeah. I want to like be in shape, and I want to like, you know, like get jacked or whatever, but now I'm like, I don't care if I ever get jacked again. I want my son to be like, you know, in good physical health, and like I want him to be eating the best foods, and I want the best for him. It's like you just don't care about yourself anymore. I wanted to be like, oh, I like want to look good, and like maybe I should get like a nice haircut, and like, you know, like, and it's just like none of that matters anymore. I don't care how I look. That's why I'm dressed like this. And it's just like, yeah, it's all for my son now. I don't care about me. Do I look like a freaking I don't I just want him to be the guy. I'm in a mood today, boys and girls. Boys and girls club. Nice. How do you try to stay out of debt? Well, I would recommend not going to a university that's going to put you in debt. I did 2 years of community college, and then I transferred, and then I dropped out. And I would recommend not going to college unless you absolutely need your degree for that trade and you know you were doing it. Do not get a generic college degree and then not go after that. Is that controversial? Don't go into debt through college. That would be my number one thing. Don't do that. Unless you know you absolutely are going to be using it. That's my biggest recommendation, because I dropped out. I was like, I don't need this. But a lot of people do. A lot of people do. So that may be for you. I'm going to ride this fence all day. I'm not going to get in trouble for this answer. How has marriage been after James? Marriage has actually been better than it. The first 2 months were a real transition, and now I would say our marriage is better than ever has possibly been. Ask Kristen. It's just been sick. And mostly the first 2 months is like, whoa, you're just transitioning and you are not sleeping and all that. But now it's like, oh my gosh, like marriage has such purpose now with having a child that you've both created, and you're just like, oh, this is what it is? Oh, this is sick. Are you guys liking Tennessee? We're loving Tennessee. It's definitely been a transition. Seasons are awesome, but seasons are also cold. It was snowing, you know, like we're not used to snow. But overall, absolutely. I think there was another question that I'm just going to kind of skip to in my own brain. It was something like, do you think LA or Tennessee is better, or Nashville is better? And I would say this. LA, as a young person, you're not a married person, and you're wanting to grind it out, and you don't care about like it being, you know, it's toinky. LA's toinky. LA is sick, but it's also toinky, and it's crazy town. Everyone agrees. Even when you live there, you know, this is crazy. Like, whoa, like this is crazy. But it's dope when you're a young person. But when you're like married and you have a family, I would say Nashville's better. Nashville's a better place to be a normal person. And that's what I want. I want to be a normal person. I want to have like a relaxing life. I want to be stress-free. I don't want the grind. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, Nashville's better for this season of my life. For a young person, I could see arguably how LA would be better. You know, if you want the crazy life, and I think it's cool to experience that, but I think sustainably, LA is not sustainable for my family. It wasn't sustainable. So that's why we came here. So yes, I like Nashville more, is the long, short answer. Things you don't like about living in Nashville or Tennessee. I don't like ticks. In Florida, we didn't have ticks, which is weird because you think of like mosquitoes and bugs in Florida, but we didn't have ticks really. I had like maybe a couple of ticks on me growing up. But I don't like ticks, and I don't like chiggers. Yeah, they're horrible. Other than that, I like the seasons. I actually kind of like that it gets cold. It's a little bit different. It doesn't snow enough to be really annoying, but it snows enough to be like, oh, that was pretty, and we enjoyed it for a couple days, and then the snow melted. So that's pretty much it for now. That's like the things on the top of my head. What boundaries do you have for social media? Oh, you want to know what my boundaries are? All the things you don't know about me. You know how I like don't post and you're like, where's Marcus? It's like, I'm living my life because that's my boundary. Hey, Luke Bryant, give me a ride, bro! Nice. If you won the lottery, what would be your first purchase? Ooh, I'm definitely buying 1,000 acres in Montana, and I'm buying 1,000 acres in Tennessee. I'll buy 2 like giant ranches. I'm weird like that. I just want land. And I want a few toys, you know. I'm going to buy like 5 Polaris Rangers for all the bros, and then I would parcel up a bunch of land and like make my own town, my own community, make my own laws, and be like such a tyrant. I would make my own country. Yeah, and I would give all that land to my friends and make like a little place. That would be cool. That would be a fun project to me. So that's what I would do with the lottery. Do you miss Toot Toot? Yes, I've actually been online on Facebook looking for another Geo Tracker, but prices for Geo Trackers, and I'm not gonna say it's because I have the #1 highest viewed video about a Geo Tracker, and I pretty much put Geo Trackers, you know, in the meta of the 4-wheel drive community. I'm not saying that because they already were like that. People already knew about Geo Trackers, but do I have the biggest Geo Tracker video on YouTube? Yeah, I do. I'm pretty sure I do. And so when I say that, like, maybe there's like a little bit of a chance that I added some value to Geo Trackers, maybe. Am I a little bit pissed that, like, you know, the secret's out there? Yes, and now everyone's charging a little bit more money than I would like to, so I can not buy any now? Yes, I would say that that's probably maybe a possibility, maybe like 1%. I'll take 1% of that. That would be cool. But I think highly of myself. So yeah, I would like another Geo Tracker. Best advice for a newlywed. I would say this: get married. Just get married because it's dope. That's my opinion. I know it's probably controversial, but my advice isn't for the newlywed. It's for the non-married person. It's like, get married. It's pretty cool. Like, because it like forces you to be like, oh, like we're in this and like we're making choices now. You know what I'm saying? Like when you ride the fence, it's just like, it's not for everyone, but if you can and you know in your heart you probably should, then you should. I have a few friends that probably should get married. Like, you're wasting time, bro. Put the rock on the thing. That's what I say. But you know, I'm different, and it might be a little bit controversial. I might not like the answer, but it's my YouTube channel, so you can kiss it. Will Viral the musical ever be produced again? Yeah, it would. But here's the long rant about Viral the musical. Okay, I feel like God saved me from a massive catastrophe because Viral the musical, the initial, it was considered a showcase, was produced in 2019, and 6 months later, and in that time we were shopping it, and we went to Broadway, and we had meetings with big Broadway producers. There's really only like 13 pretty much. It's all the people who own the theaters, and there's a lot of politics, and I'm not gonna say it's corrupt, but it's like, it just ain't happening. Basically, it's not happening for like a small time self-produced, like you wrote it yourself. There's a lot of like, it's never happening for me. It wasn't an avenue, but even if it were to have happened, and I kept pushing for it, because I could have kept pushing for it. Not to say that like, oh, it was going to Broadway, but like, I'm gonna keep it cryptic just because I don't need to go into all the details of it all, but let's just say, fast forward 6 months later, the pandemic happened and everything just like stopped for 2 years, and you couldn't do any live theater. So it was just like, whoa, like that just got completely put on the back burner. But now that things are like kind of coming out of it, I would independently self-produce it again. I would need some type of partnership because I feel so removed from the content. So if you have like a bunch of money and you want to help produce Viral the musical, you can. Or like if 1,000 of you bought like, you know, pre-ordered like $20 tickets, like I would put on a small scale version of it in Nashville, like for like a week. I would do it. But musicals are extremely expensive, is the long story short. And unless you have people who own theaters who are taking a piece of your pie, and they're the ones who are helping produce it, like it's like completely unsustainable to have like a 20 cast. Like, it's just wildly expensive. So but yes, the answer is yes, I would do it again, but I would have to do it myself, and it would have to be like it'd have to be like an indie movie. Like, my aspirations for the musical was for it to be like Broadway, like the equivalent of like Hollywood produced, like it's going to theaters, and it's like, that probably isn't in the cards for it as a straight from like a small showcase straight to Broadway. It's not gonna happen that way. It's gonna happen where it's like a grassroots movement, and it picks up and people like it, and it just keeps selling tickets and people like it, and then it grows from there. And with all the last 2 years, it's been impossible to do that. So there is a possibility that it would happen, but remember, the musical was about my life in, during the Vine years and all the social media stuff, and I just feel like I'm living a different life than what that was. So I'm artistically have moved on, if that makes sense. But I think the story still needs to be told, and a lot of my producers and people who helped me put on the original showcase would be upset that I'm saying that. But I have emotionally moved on, of course, and I think for as an artist, you have to be emotionally invested in the art that you're creating. So I could do it again, but I would need help, and I couldn't do. I'm gonna make a documentary about it, and it was one of the wildest times in my life, the amount of work that I did. So you guys can just see kind of what went on in the background, but yeah, I would need help. I would need some major help doing it again, because there's no way I'm gonna do that to myself again, because after the musical I didn't have any gray hairs, and then I had about 20 gray hairs the weekend after. It was bizarre. I went through some real stress, and there were some real physical manifestations of that stress in my life. I lost a ton of weight. It was a lot. It was crazy, but I loved it. It was a labor of love. But yeah, I watched Yard Boys 3 times because I love it, and I can't wait for part 2. I already answered that. How has your relationship with God changed since having James? Wow, dude. Actually, just go read this Instagram post. Go read that Instagram post. That'll be a little snippet of what I think. I feel like I've recently kind of formulated these thoughts and calcified them in that Instagram post. So just read that, and I feel like that'll answer your question. Are you still living from money you got through your Vine career? Ooh, it's hard to quantify. Am I? I guess, maybe. I made a lot of money during the Vine years. Not a lot of money, but yeah, a lot of money for a 19-year-old, for sure. And that money got rolled into our house, and then we sold that house, and then we made a profit on that house. So yeah, I guess in some quantifiable way, I'm living off of, but not really. It's not residual checks. It's just I made a good chunk of change then, and then I've rolled that into other assets. I've always been able to kind of, scrape. I've been able to scrape. You know what I'm saying? Scrape without going into details. Does that make sense? I've scraped. I've always been able to scrape. Saw you sent Jeff Wittick a nice message after the accident. Do you still talk to that group? Oh, the Vine people? I still talk to Jeff. I talk to some of the Vine people here and there. I feel like we've all kind of moved on and got older, but Jeff, I knew Jeff when he was not Jeff Wittick. He was American Jeff. And it's already been said, and I think he said it on his podcast, but I will take credit for being the guy who encouraged him and said, dude, you need to start your own Jeff's Barbershop, and you need to do this, and I so believe it. And I was his first guest, and the footage got deleted, and so I'm a little bit pissed about it. Yeah, I'm a little bit pissed because now it's a really big show, and it's all, that's kind of cool. That's fine. It's okay. But yeah, I still talk to Jeff every once in a while. We have some similar things that happen to us. We obviously both were in traumatic accidents, and so we have that in common. And yeah, a lot of these people too. Hollywood's a very small, especially in the social media world. Hollywood is a very small. It's a very small world, and so and it's a weird world too. Even if how do I say this? Everyone, and everyone knows you. It's just whether or not they want to act like they know you, or whether or not you want to act like you know them, because you're aware of everyone. When you're grinding in that scene, you're always you're best friends with one person who's best friends with that person. So it's just it can be kind of cliquey, but Jeff is one of those people who's he's above all of that, which is dope. I always like to think that I was the type of person who was generally not cliquey and generally friends with everyone. I feel that I was always like that, even from high school. I would never be oh, this is my group, these are my people, and I definitely had people that I hung out with more, but I was generally friends with everyone. But it's high school. It's totally just like high school. Things may have changed a little bit as we've gotten older, because people are having, No one's having families quite yet. If you're still in Hollywood, you're still kind of like, you're still grinding, you know what I mean? You're still doing your thing. There's not many people who like have families who are like young, millennial, Gen Z-ish kind of era, because I'm close to that kind of cutoff of Gen Z. I'm like 2 years too old. But like most of those people are still not like having families and stuff quite yet, or are married. So I would say once you are starting to do that, you typically move away from what I've seen. But remember, this is just my opinion, so don't be pissed. Do you think twice before doing something wild since you have a child now? Absolutely. That's why I wouldn't jump trains probably again. What's y'all's main source of income? It's this. It's social media stuff, pretty much. Does James love Camper and Honey? Yes, James loves Camper and Honey. He just like sits and like watches them every time they come in. Camper will come and lick him on the face. He's like, no, Beans, don't lick him on the face. This is kind of a dumb question, but I guess it's not, because so many people have asked this question, so I'm just going to answer it. How's the sex life after becoming parents? It's fine. It's literally the same. Nothing has changed. I don't know if it changes for other people, because I know there's a little bit of like a period where like, you know, you have to like heal up after, you know, delivery, but it's great. Like nothing has changed for me. So I'm like, why is everyone so like interested in that? Like, is it all gonna change? It's like, no, dude, nothing changed. Not to me, at least. Okay. One thing you miss most about LA. I miss just my friends, my small group of friends that I would do daily life with. That's the thing I miss most. And I miss the Angeles National Forest. I miss that because I would go there like every week. Every weekend I was in the Angeles National Forest. I miss really big, like, you know, 10,000 footers, like, because we had one there, which was pretty awesome. So, and it was like an hour from the city. So that I do miss. What's the best meal you make? It's probably like Chipotle or like Chick-fil-A or like Shake Shack. Like I'm really good at going and getting those. Will you and Kristen homeschool? There's a very high possibility that we might actually, because we work from home, so we can. It's definitely a possibility for us. I think for high school though, like to be like normalized and socialized, I think high school is good to go to regular high school. That's what I have in my head, but things can always change. What is one thing you hope James is interested in one day? I hope he's dope at basketball. And I only say that because I never learned how to play basketball, and now that I'm older, I want to play. So that's like the one thing that I didn't get to do, and I don't know, like I couldn't teach James how to be like a good basketball player because I have no mechanics or like fundamentals at all. So I hope he's interested in that, because if he's not, like, oops, you're gonna be bad at basketball too, dude. But all the other stuff, like, I don't really care. I'm going to teach him everything that I know, and he can pick up on it, and he can like it or he can not, and he'll figure out the things that he wants to do. But he'll definitely be exposed to a lot of different interests and hobbies and things, and he'll kind of get to decide what he likes to do. But yeah, I hope he's generally interested in the outdoors or like making things, because I need a buddy to help me make things and be outdoors, because it's not as fun to be by yourself. So hopefully he likes all that stuff. Pretty sure he will. So because it's in his blood, baby. It's in his blood, because he's my baby. Most rewarding thing about being a father. What is the hardest thing? Hardest thing? Ooh, the hardest thing is the regret, actually. It's the regret of like when you're not with him and you're like doing things for yourself or on your own or whatever, and you're like, should I be spending more time with him? That's the hardest thing. It's like the guilt of being like, I know he's only going to be a baby for a little bit, and I should spend more time with him. And what was the other part of the question? Most rewarding thing about being a father. Oh, I don't even know, dude. Most rewarding thing is just have a baby. There's no way to put it into words when you have a child, of like the love for it. So just like have one and you'll know what I'm talking about. Yeah. It's just the best. It's just the absolute best. And you hear that, I heard that growing up all the time, like, it's the best, just wait till you have kids. And I'm like, okay, sick, dude. Well, I gotta get to work. But now I know. And then you just, like, when you have a baby, you just know. You're like, oh, I know what's going on now. And before, I was just a baby. But when you have a baby, you're like, oh, okay, now I have a baby, and now I'm not a baby of myself, taking care of myself. I'm taking care of someone else. And you're like, Oh, I get it now. Oh, and that's what my parents were doing for me? Oh, okay, get it now. And you don't get it until you have a baby. So just have a baby and get it. Thanks. Do you actually enjoy making YouTube videos? Yes, I really enjoy making YouTube videos. I feel like it is a daunting process editing and setting up the camera and getting started. It's just daunting for me. So in that respect, no, I don't, and that's why I need help. I need help! Is the house you're building your forever home? As they say, God willing. God willing. Did you recover 100% from your leg? Can you walk or do sports without a problem? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm going to read it again, and then I'm going to deliver the way I'm feeling immediately. Here we go. Did you 100%? Did you recover 100% from your leg? Can you walk or do sports without a problem? No. I can't. I can't do sports and at 100% level. Like, I can kind of limp around the court, and I can't run, and I can't do any impact on this leg. Like, that hurts. That right here, this right here, ready? This, just dropping my leg. That was about a 7 out of 10 pain. Like, extremely sharp pain. I am hoping that that pain will go away once I get these screws removed from my leg, but I have serious issues. And because I've been limping the last year and a half, I've created tons of back problems on my left side, and I'm going to see a chiropractor. I was very optimistic right when it happened. I was like, I'm going to recover, I'm going to be great, but I think it's the pins and the hardware that's ultimately screwed me. And now I'm like, oh, wait, this is bad. This is really bad. Like, I'm hurting all the time, and I can't in the mornings, like, lift over, like I can't bend over and pick up James now in the mornings. My back hurts that bad. My back is completely toinked. So, yeah, I've been limping for the last 2 years pretty much. Like, I asked my friend, I was actually going up the stairs yesterday when I was in New York. I went to a bachelor party in New York, and I asked one of my friends, Justin, I was like, Justin, do you notice that I have a limp? And he was like, and I was like, don't give me the answer, like, making me feel good. I just want to know, do I have a limp when I actually walk? He's like, when you're walking, no, I can't really tell. When you're climbing stairs or going down or doing anything with, like, dynamic motion, yes, you can tell you have a limp. And that's pretty much what it is. Like, I can kind of hide it because I just kind of, like, stiff peg leg when I walk around. But, like, yeah, I'm toinked, dude. My leg is toinked. So yeah, I'm toinked! And I wish I wasn't! Was it? But it's all good. It's all good. It's fine. It's not fine. Fix me? Okay. How long have we been going? Oh, this is a 46-minute video. I'm toinked. And then the very next question was literally, how do you stay so calm and positive in the face of so many life obstacles? I do this. I say, I'm toinked! See how calm that was? I don't know. Dude, do I seem that way? I hope so. I feel like I generally am. If, like, shiz is really going down, like, I can like, always kind of hold it together, for sure. Kristen's always like, what's going on? Like, and she can, like, I'll usually be like, it's okay, babe. Like, we're going to be fine. But, like, I'm, freaking out, but, like, I have to be cool for both of us. Because if I start freaking out, it's done, dude. We're toinked. Like, she'll be like, oh, no. How did you come to realize marriage at a young age? My boyfriend and I are discerning marriage. Dude, I did 3.5 years of long distance. If you can do 3.5 years of long distance, it's buttery cheese, dude. And so that's how I knew. I was like, oh, for sure, she's the one. Kristen's texting me right now because I just yelled. We need to go to Wells Fargo after you're done filming. Okay, I gotta wrap this video up, so I'm gonna just hurry this up. This is probably such an overly asked question. Christian. This is probably such an overly asked question, but favorite part and worst part? This is literally what was asked. This right here is what was asked. Oh, don't look at that. Uh-oh, don't look at that. This was literally asked. Right there. That's what it was. And so I'm going to answer it exactly as it was asked, which is, this is, woo! This is probably such an overly asked question, but favorite part and worst part? Well, to be honest, no one's ever asked me that question before. So, but I would say that my favorite part is probably when you ask that question. And the worst part would be, I don't know how to answer it. And the last question, the very last question that we're gonna end today's video on is, does Kristen fart? And oh, baby, does she stink up the house, dude. She freaking goes. No, she doesn't fart. She never farts around me, actually. I actually walked in the bathroom today, and she was pooping, and she was like, get out, I'm pooping, and it smelled like poop. I mean, she really was pooping. So if you want to, you know, if you want to say, does she fart? It's like, no, but have I smelt her poop? Yeah, I've smelt her poop, and it smells like poop, like everyone else. So that's the real, guys. I always keep it real. I'm always going to keep it real for you. And I'm keeping it real by doing these vids. Like, I'm gonna keep it real. Did I do 2 videos a week? No, I toinked up. But I'm keeping it real, and I'm gonna do my best. Okay? Hopefully this content gets better. I think this is a good, like, kind of, we're easing into the YouTube channel. You know what I mean? We're easing, and I answered some questions that you guys wanted to know. Next few videos have kind of got to have a point. Gotta have to have a little bit of a purpose. You know what I'm saying? Actually, hold on. There was one question that I wanted to, oh yeah, I would love, this is a little bit wild. This was, I think someone asked this question, but I've been thinking about doing like a weird, like not a variety show, but kind of like a weird sketch comedy show. Kind of producing like a weird sketch show. I'm not really qualified to do it, but I feel like I'd be good at it. I have a lot of like stupid ideas. Would you be interested in seeing like a serialized version of that, just like weird, like kind of like Vine-esque, where they're just like little short, like bam, and then on to the next one, but like a little bit higher production value? Would that be interesting to you guys? Would you like that? Also, would you guys like to see videos that are more like, I tried to do this in 24 hours and things like that, like very YouTuber-y kind of like funky ideas? Or would you rather just see like kind of vlog stuff? Or what? Yeah, like what do you guys want from me? I'm open and I'm honest and I'm available. I'm open and I'm honest and I'm available. So what do you guys want to see? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you guys for watching this video. I know it was probably long because I'm probably gonna just leave this pup long anyways. But thanks for sticking to the end of the video. Thanks for putting up with all my antics. I was a little bit in a kind of punchy, funky mood today, so if you don't like it, then get the heck out. If you loved it, then thank you so much. Or if it wasn't your cup of tea, but you're willing to try my tea again, just try the next video. Maybe you'll like it. Maybe you'll still like me. Alright, anyways, I'm a people pleaser. I hope you like me, and I love you all, and last thing. I don't want you to subscribe. I don't want you to subscribe. If you didn't like me, if you didn't like this video, do not subscribe. I don't need your subscription. I don't want you to hit that button. I don't want you to hit subscribe. I don't want you to like. I don't want you to comment. I don't want you to do any of that, okay? Don't do it! Don't subscribe. Don't hit subscribe. If you hit subscribe, I'm gonna be like, ah! Don't do it! I just freaking told you. You know what I'm saying? Funk. Just knocked my heater over. I'm trying different things. I'm gonna see if reverse psychology works. So we'll see how that goes. Anyways, guys, love you. Thanks for watching the vid. Make sure not to subscribe, and I will see you next time. Hopefully in like 3 or 4 days, because if I'm not hitting that benchmark, then it's not 2 videos a week, and then I'm just lying to myself. And they say, like, don't lie to yourself, because it's the worst kind of lie, because if you lie to yourself, then you don't trust yourself, and then you stop doing it. See you next week.